First up, yesterday we stopped at shapes and all. So you can do most of your basic drawing with shapes, but when it comes to a bit of more complicated stuff, when you need to do a bit of more artistic work, that's when you use two, three more tools. So first, I'll show you the pencil tool. Uh, you guys have used MS Paint earlier, like at some point in your lives,
Yeah, yeah.
ever? Cool. Usme we had that pencil tool. I don't know how many of you remember, but essentially this is the same. So you hit N on the keyboard and you get your pencil tool and it draws. You can draw. Bas. That's essentially what it does. And now if you're drawing a shape, say anything, and okay, I'll show you a quick thing. So I can draw lines, I can draw circles, I can draw basically anything I want to draw, but uh, I can even write with this. So it's obviously not as fine tuned because I'm using a mouse right now. But if you guys have say touchscreen PCs or you've got some graphic tablets, then pencil tool becomes way more you know better to use. It's way more smoother, it's way more effective. But nevertheless, you can use it with a mouse as well. And okay, one quick thing. So right now you're seeing a asterisk like symbol, correct? Near the pencil. Is that visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So now I'm drawing. That asterisk is still visible, but the moment I come towards the close, you see there's a circle there. That indicates that you're going to close your shape. If I leave it, we now have a closed shape. See, the edge is joined. And had I left it open, I'll go again and I'll draw another one. So this time I won't close it. I'll leave it over here. So now this is not an open shape. And in terms of direct appearance, there won't be much difference. I'll draw two shapes and show you, but the implications of having an open and a closed shape can, be very, very different. So let's say I draw a shape which is, say, like this is a closed shape, and I, copy the same shape using Alt and drag. But I go here and I use the direct selection tool and I eliminate one vertex. So now this is an open shape. And the difference you will see is this. Oh, if I add color to this, mm, it will get colored fully. But if I add color to this, you guys will see something. See here? It's getting abruptly ended. Now we know that the curve went somewhat like this. You guys can see it here. It's a pointed beak over here. But here it's a flat out vertex. Second implication is something which is more visible when we come to strokes. So I can move the stroke outwards. I increase the size of the stroke a bit. Yeah, but here we will not have those options. See, there's only one align stroke option. This is because the various align strokes, they work only and only with closed shapes. Your basic shapes are all closed shapes. So yeah, this is one thing that you need to keep in mind whenever you're working with shapes, the open and the closed shape thing. And it's always a good practice to go for closed shapes. And yeah, so pencil tool in itself has a variety of settings. If you double click on the tool, so first of all you get this fidelity setting. So I have the slider at accurate. I'll show you what it means. So if the fidelity is set to most accurate, the line that comes will be the most accurately traced from what you're drawing. So if I draw like this, I draw ultra zigzag shaky line. I reduce the stroke. Sorry, it's too much of a stroke here. Yeah, so you get a very shaky line, but at the same time, if I just go here, and I make it smooth. So it will treat each individual point as a vertex and then try to automatically smoothen the curve. If I draw similar kind of thing, see, this is what happens. So this is a much smoother curve, but we had the similar kind of vertices over here, the similar kind of shake and what do you say, inconsistent drawing pattern. So this is one very important setting. It can drastically change whatever you're trying to draw. So okay, this is one setting. Another setting is this thing is your alt key. Now, for example, if we've drawn this and we want to smoothen say this part out a bit, I select alt and my pencil tool turns into a circle. And if I drag over this, it will. I have to select this first. My bad. I hit N. I go for alt, and now you see it will try to smoothen the curve in the direction of your movement. So if I draw it like this, it will smoothen it that way. And similarly, I can do this over here as well. So this is basically used for refining your artwork. So I draw another smooth line. I try to draw a smoother line. And now if you see, we've achieved a way more smoother look, at least on this section as compared to this section. So yep, that's the two key settings that you need to keep in mind when you're using the pencil tool. Another important setting, I mean, is that it can your close path. So remember the small circle that popped up. That only occurs when your end point and your first initial starting point are within a certain range. You can vary the range from here. So if you want to be extremely precise, a lower number. If you want to just quickly draw stuff out, keep a higher number. It will automatically close the paths as soon as it enters that range. And again, edit selected paths. So if you have this selected, so for instance, I have this selected, this line, and I draw very near to it, the line changed. The line changed once again. This is because we have this enabled. So if we have a path already selected and we draw within these many pixels close to it, draw even over it, it will assume that what you're drawing now, the latest stroke, is what you want to keep. You want to alter the existing stroke and convert it to this one. You can of course turn this off so it won't happen anymore. So if I have this selected and I draw over this, it creates a new stroke instead of altering the previous one. So was this clear? The pencil tool.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any
Yes.
doubts?
Nope.
Okay. Chalo. Pencil tool done. Now, a brother of the pencil tool is your brush tool, paintbrush tool. It's essentially the same as your pencil tool. If you, I'll show you the settings again. You have the same fidelity settings, edit selected paths, and yep. And again, if you hit Alt, you can smoothen the path out. But first, you need to select the path. I hit B. B is your shortcut, and again, it will try to smoothen the path out. It's not working because the path is already pretty smooth because my fidelity setting was set to smooth. Okay. Now, brush tool gives you one additional advantage. What's that? Yeah. So, if I hit Shift F5, is it not working? Minute. Yep. Now I have the brushes segment over here. So Illustrator already comes with a bunch of brushes. And of course, you have way more in this, library section. You can even have your custom brushes like I have over here. And if you select, say, the leather seam, I don't even know what this is, but okay. It keeps on updating itself. So Randomly pops up new brushes in here for you to try out, and you draw. So, oh wow, it drew a leather seam. And similarly, you can choose a wide range of brushes. So if you go for say borders, let's go for geometric borders. Chalo. We'll batao which one should I select? Any suggestions? चलो नहीं बता रहे मैं खुद ही चुनता हूँ. Let's take this one. Just simple. Okay, and I select the brush tool again and I draw. So now it will draw the very same pattern that you have. So this is the one key difference between brushes and pencil tool, brush tool and pencil tool. And sometimes you may feel that there's a certain pattern that you need to repeat. For example, I draw say I draw two rectangles. Guys, what was the event जो अभी गया था? Republic Day गया था ना? तो I set this to say orange. This को white रहने देते हैं. And I make this. Hmm, let's say this is not green. Sorry. इसको RGB green ही कर देता हूँ for once. And I select these and I drag them into the brushes panel. So now it will show me three options: a scatter brush, an art brush, or a pattern brush. So here I want to repeat them. I want them as a pattern. So I choose a pattern brush. Now it will show me the variety of options. Uh, I can add space between them, approximate path. So this is entirely dependent on your needs. I can name this scaling, and I can even alter the scaling if I want, but it won't take much effect unless you see it. So I added 100% spacing, and if I make it say 40, so space is added but less. I create this brush and choose the brush tool and I draw. See, so it tried its best to approximate the path and draw, but you're seeing it's not perfect. So we select this, we alter the brush now. Keep the preview on, okay? That's when you'll know what's the best thing that's happening. So, and add stretch to fit, still not working. Okay, corners make them auto centered. You can flip across also. Add space to fit. So there are multiple things that you can do with brush, and I recommend that you guys try it out yourself because of the so many options. Now, if I sit and start explaining, it's the entire session is going to go in brushes only. And yep, so that's the thing with brushes. Again, the same function as the pencil tool, operation and all the same. You draw brush, you can anytime change it, but make sure you have it selected. So I'll select it first, then I'll change the brush. I'll change it to basic for now. Okay. So any doubts with brushes?
Just one thing I wanted to ask, is there any option of something like a custom brush? Like if we import a photo and we want to take out a certain pattern from it, and
Hmm.
make that into a brush, would that be possible?
Yeah, that's possible. That's definitely possible. Okay, so I'll import an image. Give me a second. I'll import an image for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Chalo. What image do you want to see as a pattern? IMCT का logo ही डाल देते हैं. चलो, let's make that only a pattern. So first I place the image. We can do that by using Control Shift P. But more about that, I'll go into the depth of that tomorrow only. So don't worry. And where are the logos? Yeah, here are the logos. Black logo. Yep. So now we have a logo over here. I'll make it a little bit smaller. I crop the image a bit. Yeah, okay. Chalo. And I drag this over here. Now it will ask again the same three things. So I'll show you a scatter brush this time. Okay. And so now again, you can vary this. So a scatter brush is essentially the element that you've put in here. It will scatter that over the course of your path. Uh, and you can vary multiple parameters in this. I make it random, and spacing also I'll randomize it tiny bit. Scatter, I'll leave it. Rotation, random again. Okay, so now we have this. Uh, yep. Your scatter brushes show in here. I select this. I select the brush tool and I draw. I draw again. I draw. So are you seeing the spacing is random? So is the sizing. So is the rotation. If I draw a straight line, so are you guys able to see the difference? It's pretty randomized.
Yeah.
So this is what you can do again. But say I don't want scatter brush. I want something with way more uniformity. So I simply go in here and I make a pattern brush out of it. Now I again use the brush tool. I okay. Yep, I draw. So see, this is way more uniform and it will try its best to replicate the path. So you might have a few, what can I say, distortions on the way. But again, you can specify it between auto centered, none, and so on. I can add approximate path, add space to fit. I can even vary the scale and all. So yeah, multiple options, multiple options again. You can do a lot of things, images, vectors, even you can use text as a brush. It's all up to you.
Just
So
one last thing, like if
mhm,
we have that IECMT logo and we just want the M out of it, can we just like select that portion out of it and then make it into a brush, or like the whole picture goes together?
we can do that as well. So I will re-import the image to show it to you guys. So I have the, oh, I imported the wrong logo. I'm so sorry. White. You guys won't be able to see the white logo. Okay. So you want only a section of this image. And assuming you want to keep the image also in the document, I just make a copy of it and I crop the image.
Oh, okay, okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even if cropping doesn't work, there's another technique in which you can take out segments of images, something like you can do in Photoshop as well. But I'll come to that tomorrow because the entire images thing is there tomorrow. So it's better if I explain that there only. Okay,
Okay. Thanks a
cool.
lot.
Sure, anytime. So now with the brushes part done, acha, another important thing. So if with a pencil and a brush tool, if you want to draw a straight line, hold down shift and then draw. Perfect. See shift. If you want to move upwards, hold shift for a while and then leave and then draw again. Again, move in this direction, leave, draw. And again, leave, draw, and it will automatically show you the closing sign and you have made a rectangle. There you go. I changed the stroke to something more visible. Let's make it black. Okay. So that's how you can straighten out your pencil and brush strokes. Now, coming to pen tool, arguably one of my favorite tools. It's one of the most useful tools in entire Illustrator, the pen tool. Click P on the keyboard, you'll be able to access it. And there are no settings for the pen tool per se. You can of course have variations in the pen tool. You have the anchor point, delete anchor point, convert to anchor point, and whatnot. But yeah, pen tool draws straight lines and also curved lines. But okay, I see this. So I dropped an anchor point and I dropped another anchor point. Notice if you hold down shift again, it will draw either in 90-degree, 45-degree. So holding down shift in pen tool will make you draw only at 45-degree intervals. So another one. And you see how as I'm nearing, the vertically, as I near this vertex, it will automatically show me a line that shows me where to stop and this intersect written. So I stop here and I can easily bring it here. So it's pretty simple. It's even easier if you want to make geometric shapes, then pen tool is the fastest. And if you want to make curves, again, you drop an anchor point, you drop another anchor point, but this time you drag. So you see these two handles that run tangentially to your curve. So they define the how can I say, they define the scale of your curve, at what extent it will be. So if it's smaller, it's going to be a smaller variation. A greater curve would mean a greater variation. A great longer handles mean a greater curve variation. And similarly, I can make it curved even further. I can even change the direction of the curve with this and something like this. Again, if you hold down shift, intervals of 45 degrees, your handles will be at intervals of 45 degrees this time. And now if I draw another straight line, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have dragged it. There you go. A cute little R-like thing is ready. Yep, now it's better. So that is the pen tool in requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of practice because it will help you estimate, where you have to drag, how much you have to drag, where you should drop the anchor points. Uh, I'll give you guys a quick example. Let's take something a bit more complicated. What should we take? What should we take? Chalo. Let's take the logo only. IMCT logo. I will draw a rectangle behind it so you guys can see it. Okay. So now you guys can see the logo and we want to trace this. So I will lock these two first because I don't want to make any changes. I don't even want to move them accidentally. And now we go to the pen tool. Uh, we change the stroke to red. It will be the most visible. And we empty the fill. And now we start drawing. I can zoom in. It will help me, get a more accurate drawing. Yep. So right now I'm drawing exact straight lines, so there isn't much variation. But if I come to this E, I go from here to here and I try to replicate the curve. I go again. So this isn't working. So I try a new anchor point. Again, I see it's not fitting on line. So I change the earlier anchor point as well. And then a straight line. And again, I drag for the curve. I leave it here and a straight line because you want to finish it off. So let me just remove everything. Yeah. So as you guys can see, I tried to replicate it, but it was not a perfect replication. This is because you need to, it's a very hit and trial process when it comes to placing anchor points, especially on unusual shapes with rectangles, with triangles, even with circles to a certain extent, you know where to put the anchor points and all. So you can do that very easily. And now if I want to smoothen it out, so any ideas how I can do that, guys? Any ideas? किसी के पास on how to smoothen the E out, the outline of the E?
I think by direct selection, we can select a vector point there and smoothen it.
That's a very good idea, but it can get complicated. I'll show you why.
many points are there.
Many points. Exactly. You got
Yeah,
it just right.
yeah.
So what did we do for the pencil tool? We select the shape, we
We'll
select the
draw a
pencil
nearby
tool.
line to it and we'll change the shape.
That is one way. But in that case, you will be drawing a new line. So your existing shape will get, changed. There's even a chance that you might lose this outline permanently. So instead we hit Alt and we try to smoothen this out. Same thing I do on the top because I see it's a bit, you know, disproportional at this point as well. And again, and so how about now? Does it look a bit cleaner? And
Yes.
if we compare it to the logo, it fits almost perfectly. So that is one of the places where you use multiple tools at the same point of time. And the key use of pencil tool I've shown, pen tool I've shown it to you guys. I'll give you another quick example. And for instance, chalo, give me a thing that I have to draw. A small thing, or don't give me something too complicated. It's going to, batao, batao.
Flower vase, maybe.
Flower vase, okay. Chalo, no issues. Okay, so this is the starting of the vase, and let's say, that ought to do it. No, let's make it a little bit better, huh? नहीं यार मैं भूल ही गया व्यास कैसे दिखते हैं. The vase needs to have a bottom, flat bottom, right? Otherwise, it might topple off. Okay, so yeah, this much is done. This is one side of the vase, correct? So now we made this using the pen tool. Now for the second part, either you can draw the whole thing around, but there's a chance that it might not be perfectly symmetrical. So what you do is you hit Control C and you hit Control Shift V. It will paste it at the very same place you copied it from. There you go. So now you have two objects, two paths rather. So you go to the properties panel over here, just beside the layers, and you flip it horizontally. Are you guys able to see this thing? The flip horizontally icon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I hit that. But now you guys see it flipped there. It just became a mirror image along the central axis. We don't want that, do we? So instead I hit Control Z and I select this point. Now this is the reference point along which there will be a horizontal reflection of it created. Now we've got this, and now I can very simply. Now are you guys see, now there's the asterisk there and now here's a slash. So the slash means you're going to extend an existing path, and I draw all the way here. Voila, your vase is ready. So did it make sense? Uh, any
Yeah.
Yeah, can you
doubts?
show the last part again? Like, how did you invert it and that part?
Okay, I'll show you once again. Okay, did you get the copy and paste part?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I go to the properties panel. I select the path I want to do first. And you're seeing the small grid over here, this 9 point grid.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay, so if we select any of these points, we'll be able to set a reference point. Now, just like we have the axis of symmetry, correct? Every object can be rotated around a certain axis. So we are basically setting an axis over here. If I choose the central axis, it will rotate around the center. If I select the rightmost corner, it will rotate around the rightmost corner. Similarly, if I select the leftmost corner, it will rotate around that. Getting it?
Yes.
Okay. So I rotated it along the rightmost corner, and now I need to connect these two. So I wish to extend this very path. So I go here, and the moment it shows anchor written, it means we are going to start from an existing anchor point. The slash means we'll be extending this path that's highlighted in blue. We draw, and what does this square mean? That we are going to join the paths. Existing path and the new path, they are going to be merged together. I joined them. I overshot it a bit. I'm sorry. We join it, and your vase is ready. So, any doubts, guys? Any doubts in this?
No.
Okay. One thing, if you guys see, I don't know if it will be visible at this point. So you guys are not able to see it, but this is not a closed shape. This is an open shape. If I go to stroke, these options are not visible. Does anyone have an idea why is it so? Why is it why is it an open shape and not a closed shape, despite me joining the two paths from here? Any ideas? No ideas? Chalo. It is because when I copied it and reflected it, I didn't join the bottom part. So if I zoom in, wait, I need to be very precise because we are dealing with very small area over here. Guys, I lost it. Huh? Guys, able to see it? Mm,
Yeah.
there's this small white gap, which means they are not joined. It's not a complete shape. So it's very close, but it's still not a complete shape. And how do we sort this is very simple. We select this and we hit Control J. Control J is our join tool. I'll give you a quick example. So there are two lines, uh, and let's say this. Okay, I need to make one shape out of them. I select them. I hit Control J. Wait, I hit Control J. Illustrator automatically tries its best to, create a path, to predict a path, and it will move along that path and hence join it ahead. And the same it will do on the top if I hit Control J once again. It might not be the perfect, it might not be what you exactly wanted, but it completes the shape. So yeah, if you're gonna hurry and you need to quickly close your shape, you're not able to find where the shape is left open, just hit Control J. It will automatically close any point there is. Still not satisfied? Hit Control J 2, 3 more times. Your work's done. Okay. Any doubts about the pen tool?
In that place, when we press that Control J and it joins the remaining part,
Hmm.
can we curve it? I mean, using other tools, can we curve that? Like when we
Yeah.
use the pencil and then we can just border it from the outside and it will get curved. Can
Yes.
we do that?
Yes. You can absolutely
So
do that.
it's a complete different line.
Yep. Wait.
Okay.
I'll show it to you. I just make the shapes again. Yep. These are the shapes, right? These are joint shapes. So okay, just a second. I moved my toolbar. Yep. And if I want to curve this part, it's not looking very good. One way I can go to direct selection tool and oh yeah, why is it not working? Yeah, one way is this, the one I showed you yesterday. You can drag if it's a corner.
Yeah.
Second way is pencil tool, alt, soften the edge out. Another way, if you have draw over enabled in the pencil tool, I don't think I have it enabled, do I? No, I don't. Edit selected path is not enabled. And I draw over it. Yep. So yeah, this is it. You can anytime alter it, go ahead and change it. Yeah, but that is the core thing. I mean, a joined line is essentially a line. So all your basic tools that work on line editing, on curve editing, work on this as well. Any other doubts? Have I cleared this?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now we are at the end of drawing tools. Just one quick tool. It's like the younger brother of pen tool, curvature tool. So you can access it from here. Curvature tool, shift plus this wavy line. I forgot what we call it. I'm so sorry. And again, same as the pen tool, but this time it will create curves on its own depending on your anchor points. I'm not doing anything. I'm not dragging. I'm just dropping anchor points. And if you drag it, drags the anchor point along. It's very, very straightforward. You drop an anchor point, Illustrator makes the curve out of it. It's very good if you want to make quick abstract artwork, something like I made right now. Yeah. And if you guys want to individually color it, remember Shape Builder works here as well. So now see the magic. I hit Shift X. This part I can make it blue. This part I can make it gray. So you guys are getting the image, right? That multiple tools can be used together to fulfill your end goal. Doesn't matter what tool you use or something, but yeah. And curvature tool is something which you can use while editing also. So instance, I have a rectangle. I'll clear the color out of this. Yeah. I want to give it slight curves. Go to curvature tool. It shows path. Drag it. Again, it will go here. It will show path. Drag it whichever way you want. And similarly here, you can drag it whichever way you want. And yeah, that's it. So that's how you can draw with the curvature. Curvature tool is something that's mostly, you can use for refining your pen tool and all. And there's another important thing. If you double click now, it will draw straight lines. See, I'm double clicking all my points. I made a point, I double click it. I double clicked it. So it's making a straight line out of it. So yeah, that's it. And you can alter the handles and all, just like you can do in other shapes with direct selection as well. So there's another shape. I go to direct selection. I want to alter, say this. I drag the handle. It will alter the curve. I can drag the anchor point along. I can move this handle individually. I can move this handle individually. So yeah, so we are done with drawing tools. Anything you want to know? Any other doubts you have? Or should I proceed? You guys need a break for 3-4 minutes.
We're good.
You're good. Satvik, anything you want to add? Anything I missed out?
नहीं अब तक इट्स फाइन चिल
अब तक it's fine. Chalo, good. Acha, next बताओ. What do you guys want to know? Text or coloring? बताओ बताओ. What do you guys want next? Text or coloring?
I think coloring will be better. I guess we got some like create drawing tools and all. We did it. So
Okay, chalo. Coloring it is. I draw quick shapes over here. Kuch to I make something. Let's make a few circles as well. Yep. ठीक है. So shapes are ready. Now there are two ways to access the color panel. One is you simply go to the properties section. have a shape selected. See this fill? This is your colors panel. So you have a bunch of preset swatches over here. I can use swatches that are existing. So example, I'm coloring a mountain. So for that, I would use earth tone. Now, as you guys can see, this gives me a bunch of pre-planned, pre-created shades that are used in mountains mostly. So I can select this, and I go and I select this, and then this. So, and it's not just limited to mountains and all. You guys can select whatever swatch you want. I can select something that's, something we use metal, some metallic shades. So this has your grays, golds, copper shades, and all that stuff. So it's something like this. And if you guys say, for example, multiple times when we are working in projects, we need to create custom colors with the hex codes and RGB values and all. You can use this. The color palette that you see, this is your color mixer. And we can vary the value of RGB components individually, uh, or we can simply input preset values. So let's see if we want to make gold color. So I think the RGB value of gold is something FFD 800 or something. So I'll enter that FFD 800. What's it doing? Yep. It's more on the yellowish side, but you get it right. So we can input a custom color and give it a very personalized look, anything. And if you guys are say you don't know the RGB values, you guys even you find a color that you like that's over here. So you can select it from here as well. If you want even greater control, so those of you who use Photoshop, you might be familiar with this thing, the HSB or the HSL slider. Same variation, hue, saturation, brightness. I can control the saturation, I control the hues, and I control the brightness. HSB values can be entered. You guys can pick up hex code from any website you want. There are multiple websites for the colors and the hex codes. So that's how you add solid color. And the same can be done for fill as well, for stroke as well. I'm sorry. You can mix your own colors and all. And there are many times when you realize it's not looking good. I need to swap the color of the stroke and the fill. So one simple way to do that is select it, hit Shift X. It will swap your stroke and fill colors. See, Shift X does the job. And if you want to remove the fill, so the slash arrow that you have, it will set your fill to no color. You have object selected, you hit slash, no color. If you hit slash, that is. And now you want to put stroke inside, you hit X, Shift X, sorry. And now you will have no stroke color. So are you guys getting it? Am I going too fast?
We're getting.
Getting it.
Okay. So this was the basics about colors. Now, color stroke mein, that's mainly what you guys need, what anybody would need rather. Now, coming to a little bit more complicated thing than color, that is gradient. Gradient. I'll make a bigger rectangle for this. Yeah, it's much easier to depict in here. So, okay. First of all, now many times when we make artworks, when we make posters, we need colors that complement each other because you don't want to use bright yellow on a white background. Correct? It doesn't look good. It looks rather invisible, whatever you write with it. So, if I have say a text written over here, let's write something. Hmm, We'll come to uh, sure. Chalo. It's looking pretty simple right now, but if I change the background color to say this, how does it look now?
Doesn't even look nice.
Doesn't look nice?
Not legible. Not legible.
Not legible. Perfect. So we select the color for which we need a complementary shade with for which we need a harmonic shade. Basically, it's something a bit more on the color theory side. You have to read up a bit about it. It's very complicated and all. Photography, videography, everything uses it. Hit Shift F3. See this color guide. You can select this from here. Tetrad, high contrast 4, complementary. So this all moves according to the color wheel. Or you have a shade here and this will give you multiple options like these. So keep it selected, move it here, move your color guide over here. Now you select the shade, your text or whatever it is, and you can give it any color from these. How does it look now? Does it look better?
Yes.
So that is the core purpose. You have to again play around with this. It entirely depends on the kind of illustration, kind of artwork you're making, formal, informal, your style of art, your mood that you're depicting. A lot of things come into play when you need to select the right color. So I doubt if I can explain what the right color is in one go for everyone. It's a very personalized thing. So that's what the color guide is. And if you guys, are at a lack, you can't find a certain window, go to the windows section. You have all your windows here. Your color guide is here, properties, your stroke window, everything is here. So I use the color guide pretty often. So yeah, I drag it and put it in this bar. Now coming to the gradient, it's very simple. I add gradient. It's a gradient. Moves from it's a smooth transition from one color to the other. Uh, yeah, so this is basically it. You can add multiple colors even if you want. So your picker is here, your color mixer is here. This is in grayscale. I can shift it to RGB now. So yeah, you can make any color you want. So let's give a transition from red to sunset वाला transition एक try करते हैं चलो. Let's give it orange. Let's give it a little this. No, this is green. This won't do. Sorry. This too red. चलो थोड़ा ज़्यादा yellow हो गया. But ठीक है. And I'll give this a blue. इसको कुछ और color दे देते हैं. Let's make this the shade. So you can see now that I've added multiple colors, but there's a smooth transition. Now if I want to make a certain transition very harsh, I move this slider there. So now the transition between red and this yellow is very, very sharp. So it's like suddenly red is ending and another color starting. And the same I can do for blue. And if I drag it all the way here, it's much smoothened out transition that you'll see. And you can delete colors from between if you want. So now I have only red and blue and here. Okay, yeah. So that is how you operate anything. You can even vary the opacity of that certain side. So if I make it 0, so it's going from full opaque at this point, 100%. I'm sorry. So this is at 100% opacity and this is at 0%. This point is fully transparent. What that means is you'll be able to see below the transparent side, just like we have our glasses. So we have opaque glass, we have transparent glass, we have translucent glass. So this section is fully opaque. This is translucent. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have moved that. And this is transparent. So if I draw a rectangle over it, I'll alter the color to say proper red. and I bring this below it. You guys can see slowly it's becoming less and less visible. Here it's proper red, and as we go here, it's not as visible. Is it is the transition clear?
Yeah.
Cool. So that is the key points about gradient. You can have radial gradient. That's colors changing from the center or from any point to outside. I can make it strong. I can make it small. I can, even wait, change the color. Yes, say I make it. Let's say I make it yellow. So it will transition like that, and I can drag the entire slider to give it this comet kind of look. So you can alter any and everything. You can edit your gradient from here. If I change it back to normal gradient, again, I can draw and give it. This line is your direction, vertical, and there's something called as a free form gradient. Okay, this is something that you can use for very useful for 3D texturization to show highlights and shadows. So if I give this, say, I show this to you in shades of gray. Wait, it's going to give a greater impact if I do that. Let's make it white. This I bring here, and I give this a gray shade. ठीक है, perfect. Now we make another point, and I give it an even darker shade, and I curve it a little bit. Now I add another point, which I make black. So is it visible? It's like a very deformed metal sheet on which you have a light from 3 points. The central point is very much bent inside. So this is one very it's a bit on the tedious side when you have to make these kind of uh, gradients, free form gradients, because there's a lot going on. I mean, you need to choose multiple shades, and it's pretty complicated. You need to get it right. Otherwise, the effect doesn't come out as beautiful. To create a new point, click escape. So I'll just make another point over here. And I don't need this point, so I delete it. And now I go to normal view. So how does this look? I mean, does it give a 3D shading-ish effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Good. So that is where your freeform gradients comes the most handy, when you to create something on the 3D side and give it a 3D effect and all. So that was the basics of coloring and all. Your key color menus are all here in properties panel, or you can get it from the window. Your gradient panel, gradient has multiple options. You can create your own colors. So any doubts here? Any doubts? Any other thing you would like to see? Anything I left out? Satvik, सब clear करो. Shoot up. Guys, आवाज तो आ रही है ना? Am I audible?
नहीं कम आ रही है, I mean
You sound muffled.
Okay. It's maybe because my bandwidth is
It's
fluctuating a
fine
lot.
now.
It's better.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
was asking ki is everything clear? Anything, any doubts that you guys have? Any doubt, anything else you want to see? Any curiosity कि ये चीज कैसे होता है? That kind of thing. Satvik, did I cover everything? कुछ छूट गया?
बेसिक लेवल पे तो क्लियर ही है ना.
बेसिक में तो इतना
Yeah.
gradients and all भी है. चलो, if that's done, we'll be moving to texts. And आज के लिए that's the last thing we'll do. ये काफी आज थोड़ा heavy session था, a bit of complicated stuff with the drawing and all. तो चलो, let's go ahead with text. Text is very straightforward. You click, you type. Simple. So any doubts in that? Text will select किया, click, type. IE electronics. Done. In essence, that is your text tool. अब इसका size vary करना है, either you can drag it, this. You want to distort it, you can distort it. Treat it like a shape. But one thing you cannot do is individually edit these anchor points right now. नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. It won't work because this is text. It is not a shape. It is not an object. And if you want to edit it, you can edit it later on. So edit भी कर दिया चलो. You want to change the color, you can change the color. But fill change करना, stroke मत change करना. Because if you change stroke, this is what will happen. Let me increase the size a bit. Suppose I add a stroke of yellow. Something more visible, sorry, red. देख रहा है अब? So it will add stroke on the outside. यहाँ पे ऑप्शन भी नहीं आएगा तुम्हारे पास वेरी करने का. It will show but it won't do anything. This is because it treats Illustrator as a separate Illustrator treats text as a separate category of stuff. So this is what will happen if you add stroke to this. And again, you can delete it, backspace it. Now, if you want to type paragraphs, like you want to create blocks of text, then drag, then type whatever you want to type. So lorem ipsum ही आता है इसका by default text. उसको थोड़ा छोटा कर देता हूँ. Now delete it. Wait. So now it will create text. अब तुम देखो, it will wrap the text inside the box only. And suppose I feel कि I want to continue this text. So what I'll do is I drag here. I'll show it to you once again. ये select किया. See the small square around here. I click this, go to text, and I drag. Deselected. You see this blue line? That means the text is being it's overflowing from the first box into the second box. And it will do that no matter of how I move the box around. And yeah, and if I alter this box, see, more and more text will flow. If I make it bigger, less and less text will flow. So that's about it. uh, और क्या हो सकता है इसमें fonts होते हैं. You've got fonts that you can choose from. You can download your custom fonts from Google, import them. If you want to use a certain kind of font, you can filter. So you've got sans serif fonts, you've got serif fonts, you've got slab serif, script, and handwritten, multiple options from which you can categorize. So if I click this, only sans serif fonts will be visible. I can select one from here, bold. If I want to center align, the center align is here. Everything's visible in your properties channel, properties tab, sorry. If you want to uh, change the font size, this is it. If you want to change the, what is it, leading, this will increase the gap between two lines. This will increase the gap between two characters horizontally. So yeah, that's it. That's mainly it. You can again center align the box with your artboard. You can right align, you can bottom align it. So in essence, you can do everything that you would do to a shape with the exception of playing around with strokes, with the exception of direct selection tool. You can more or less play around. You wanna, अच्छा, another important thing ये कई बार चाहिए होता है, so I'll show it to you guys. If you guys want to add subscripts and all, see these three dots, more options, go here. Now it becomes subscript. I want to select this text and make it a superscript. So there you go. Now it's a superscript. So these are your key text options. I don't think more than this is ever required unless you're going for full typography. In that case, it no longer remains text. You'll have to convert it to an object. So any doubts?
Is there any layer system in this? Like, if we type letters, are they all in the same layer, or each letter is in different layer?
Letters are in same layer.
Okay,
So
so that is why we can't edit with the strokes of those each letter.
exactly. That's one reason. Another reason is because it is not an object yet. I'll
Yeah.
show you what I mean when I say that it's not an object. If I go to object panel over here, it will show you this expand, object and fill. Now you can no longer edit it like text. It has converted it to shapes, a group of shapes rather. If you
Yeah.
go here, it's become a group. And ungroup it, all of them have become different. So you see M, U, S, P, everything's different. And now I can do any and everything I do earlier. I want to add stroke, I add stroke. I want to edit one line, I do that as well. This is very helpful when you're doing typography. So I drag it around, lorem ipsum, say, yep, this. And I delete this M, select this, wait, and I drag this part down. So getting what I'm saying. So if you want to create special kind of effects, you want to create something unique, something different, that's when all this comes into play. So that's all about. And yeah, you can add gradients also once you've made it an object. See, gradient भी लग जाएगा, कोई issue नहीं है. So I think we're done with text as well. That's the key things you need to know about text. So anything else? Anything I missed out or something? Any doubt you guys have?
No.
Nope. Sub clear. So
Like, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
So like you showed about that gradient thing now. So can we like gradient fill inside the text?
Okay, there's one way to it. I'll show you. You cannot fill it normally. Like जैसे we add and fill ना, वैसे नहीं कर सकते. I put text over here. I could make it a bit bigger ताकि वो अच्छे से दिखे gradient तुम लोग को. Why am I doing this even? छोड़ो, let's delete it. Yep. So here's your text. Now you see the lines are very cramped together. So I'll increase the leading. Select the text. Increase the leading. Okay. And okay, now I center align the text to the artboard. It's too big, I decrease the size a bit. Perfect. Now I zoom into the artboard and I want to add gradient. So I go to this appearance panel. So this is something I haven't talked about before. And this is where you can play with, with multiple things. The first thing you should do is go to appearance panel, add new fill. इसमें now you go to with these selected, this fill selected, you go to gradient. You click this. Now you can get a gradient in the text, and the best part, your text is still editable. So if I need to make it say lobster for some reason, I don't know why I would do that. Yeah, so now you have lobster ipsum with gradient. And vice versa. If I want to alter the gradient, I can do that as well. Go to gradient tool, flip the gradient around, add a new color in between. वो भी हो जाएगा. Change any of the existing color, even that can be done. So yeah, that is it. But this appearance panel, you need to be very careful. As you see here, if I say uh, go to appearance panel again, and now I create stroke on this. So see this. You guys able to see the, but now the stroke is going to create a little bit of problem, especially in P and M. You guys seeing it's slowly diminishing the curves in there. It's eating in the alphabet
Yes.
space. So that is one reason why strokes on text are a bit tricky. So the simplest way around it is, so if I want to add the same orange text, what I do is Control C, Shift and paste it in the same position. Go to layers. The bottom layer, I give it that fill, and then I increase the size of it. Upper layer lock kar do because you don't want to edit it, and now you increase the size slowly. Now what you do is you select both of them and you align them together. Maybe you're seeing there's a little bit of difference, correct? So you reduce the size. It's entirely, how do I say? It's a bit tricky. It's a bit difficult to add stroke in your text without bothering your font shape and all, but it's doable. So now you see there's a little bit of stroke in there, giving it a very clean look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a shadow or something like uh, not
exactly. Go on.
not exactly the shadow, but like those like extra portions are there. It's like that.
It's giving you an effect of depth, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
The
how
3D effect type of thing.
exactly that's how you can do it. Easy job. It's easy job as in thinking about it is easy. Execution may take a little while. Uh, but that's it. So one thing that you guys need to keep in mind, multiple tools can be used for the same job. I mentioned it yesterday. I mentioned it again today as well. You can use the tools together to create similar effect, to create same effect, even possibly even a better effect with less steps. So yeah.